Hi everyone. Welcome to Modern Mom Girl.
It's your girl Emmy.
And it's your girl Lex.
Alright, so welcome to episode 9. Are you ready for the relationship, sis? So it'll be a little fun topic to talk about. Alright, so the topics we have for this episode is how do you know you're not ready for a relationship, and how do you know you're ready for a relationship, and how do you know he's the one?
All right. Ooh, this is a juicy episode.
Yes, a little fun. But still a little bit like, yes, we're still gonna be serious, give you good advice, but their experiences. Let's just talk about it.
Right. Emmy, did you want to begin first?
Yeah.
I honestly feel like we're gonna have the same answers because I
feel the same too.
It's just right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so first to start off, I have no makeup on, y'all, so don't mind me. It's been a rough week, and yeah, so I don't have energy. I've been cleaning my dirty room, and we're recording, so yeah, let's get started. All right, so to start off with the first question, how do you know you're not ready for a relationship? And I'll just go off with 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 for me is you think you need a relationship to make you happy, and that's for me is you should want a relationship. You shouldn't need one to make you happy. You should already be happy as an individual. Second is you think you're Bob the Builder and he's fixable. Like, sis, we're not doing that no more. Okay, we're not building up these guys no more. We're not raising them. We're not thinking oh, he's gonna turn to this person and I just keep trying to change him and doing this for him, but they should already be good as an individual themselves. If you have this mindset, do you think you're going to the relationship loving this person as they are, or are you actually loving them as a person you think they will be once you build him to his potential? This could be really controversial, for whatever reason, but that's just my opinion and my thoughts. And then third is, if you're not satisfied with your life or yourself, what makes you think another human being will be able to do so, and what makes you think you could do it for them when you can't even do it for yourself, right? And then lastly for me is you got to get right with yourself first before you try to get right with someone else, because you both just be going left and you guys relationship won't go right. Okay, just make sure you're right first. You're good with yourself, you're good with your life, make sure you're happy, content first before you try to be happy with another person. Yeah, what about you, Lex?
Period. Of course, I agree with everything that Emmy said. And I just really want to reiterate on the part where if you're not content with yourself, then how do you expect to be content with another person? Mm-hmm. I think that is so true, because it just reminded me of my previous relationship right after I was freshly broken up with. Or no, I wasn't broken up with. I broke up with them, but I was fresh out of that relationship. And I was just having fun. I guess you can call it my hoe phase, but I think a hoe phase is different to everyone on how they perceive it. Ooh, my voice kind of cracked there. How they perceive it. Because for me, my whole phase, I would say my whole phase was more an innocent thing where I was just talking to guys, and I actually had a goal of kissing 10 guys. That's crazy, right? Yeah, I did accomplish it, and I'm proud to say that. And I know my mom is gonna watch this episode, so Mom, you wish you could have done that too. Okay, let me stop. But yeah, and I would say just doing that, thinking that will fill your void, it really doesn't, because you're not even trying to be content with yourself. How are you trying to make other people fill that void up for you? Because
you're actually not even feeling what happened. You're putting Band-Aid on top of it, you just keep putting Band-Aid over and over and over and ignoring it. So it's peel those layers.
Exactly. And so that's why it's just really important to to be there for yourself first. And I understand like everyone has a phase and everything, but you know, I think as long as you acknowledge the phase that you're in, and then when you're finally like at a place where you can accept yourself and just like be whole with yourself, is really your happy place. But I think that's when you're most vulnerable too, because like you are finally accepting yourself, you're finally okay and happy with yourself, and then like, you know, anyone can just pop out of your life. Literally anyone could just be like, hey, I like you, and
That's
then you're
good.
like,
What's good?
Yeah, it's just
What's
like,
good,
I'm intrigued, but I'm scared,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah, and so I feel like, honestly, that happened to me. Because I was single for like literally 3 to 4 years, and suddenly, like, my current partner, he just like popped out of nowhere, and I was just like, whoa, like, I really love myself, and then this person just popped out. And I think it's when you just know that I feel like I'm answering the questions ahead of time. But yeah, basically how you know you're not ready for a relationship is like you have a void in yourself, and you need to fill up your own void. Yeah,
fill up your cup first.
Period.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so second question, how do you know you're ready for a relationship? And I could start off. So first, I would say you're unapologetically yourself, like our very first episode, right? You're unapologetically yourself. You're ready to, oh my God, I can't talk today. You're ready to show up your authentic self. So you're authentic in this relationship with this person, you know? You're not showing them this little layer of what you're not, and you're showing them who you truly
like a
are.
facade.
Yeah. So being unapologetically yourself and authentically you, and then you're whole, WHOLE, you're whole. So you feel at peace, like we said, you're at peace, you're just happy with your life. Happy single equals happy in relationship, right? And if you're sad single, that means you're gonna be sad in the relationship, and you're just gonna bring sadness into that person as well. What if that person is a happy individual, and then you go in that relationship as a sad individual? You're just harming them, you know? It's like that toxic circle that we can't break. So that's why it's like you have to be fully healed and whole as a person before you should pursue another person, because you don't put that hurt onto them, like the same hurt that you've been through, you know? And then lastly, like I said, it is a want, not a need. So you're so content with your life and so happy. You're like, oh, I think I finally want some intimacy, want some love, you know, because my life is just so good. I'm ready for it. It shouldn't be like, oh, I need someone there with me to make me happy. Like, no, it shouldn't be like that, because that's just gonna make you dependent on that person. So yeah, that's what my thoughts are. And yours?
Yes, absolutely. Honestly, I just want to piggyback off of everything that Emmie said. Like, when you know you're ready for a relationship is really when you're ready for yourself. Because if you can show up for yourself confidently, without any shame, without feeling like, without feeling any insecurity, then you can show up for another person too. And I know how tempting it is, where like you see so many relationship posts, and like everyone is getting to relationships, and you're just like, you want to hop on the bandwagon too, like you want a little boo thing for yourself too. But as always, when you are entering in a relationship with a person, you're taking their baggage as well too. And so it's just not going to be rainbows, butterflies, and unicorns. It's going to be the opposite of that, because in a relationship, you have the best side of this person, and then you're going to have the worst side of this person. And so if you understand yourself as your best self and as your worst self, then I feel like that's when you can be ready for a relationship, because taking in another person, you're taking in their best and their worst. And being in a relationship right now too, I would say like it's kind of traumatizing, you know. I believe in relationship trauma, and you know, you're also taking their trauma in, and they're taking your trauma in too. And sometimes you don't know these things about yourself until you are in a relationship, and it takes an immense amount of courage to take accountability for your actions, because I know we have our pride, we have our ego, it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
But what's the point of a relationship if you cannot lower that? You know, because
Literally.
to be in a relationship is to be vulnerable. And if
with
you,
each
if you cannot be vulnerable with yourself, then you just cannot be vulnerable with anyone. So to be ready for a relationship is to really let down your guard. Of course, not right away, but when you know that that person is the one for you, then yeah, gradually get there. And period. That's your soulmate, twin flameo.
All right, so that brings us to the last question. How do you know he's the one? And do you want to start, Lex? Or she's the one in the relationship, so let's hear her first. I'm the one who's been single for 4 years, so we can listen to her.
All right, so how do you know that he is the one, or if they are the one? Well, I would say that you just have this gut feeling in you, and I do believe at love at first sight, but I don't know, you just have this really like kinetic, fiery energy with them. I know it's kind of sounding like twin flame, but I believe that twin flames and soulmates can be the same as well too in one person, although that is dangerous because twin flames, they just be like too crazy together. But I think that my partner is definitely my twin flame. I do think that he is my soulmate too, being like in my relationship, of course. But like I would say off the bat, like he was definitely my twin flame because we were just very similar, and we just did a lot of, and we look alike too, according to many people.
Everybody.
Yeah. And so it was just like, we just did the same thing. We just vibed until like one day it was like it was just a clash, and it was just like, ooh, you different from me and I'm different from you too. But we're not gonna get too much into that. It's just like how you know he's the one, or if they are the one for you, is really just having that gut feeling and that attraction that you do want to be with this person for the rest of your life. And so what you do is you actually shift your surroundings, your energies with that person as well too. And if you can't do that, like if you really just are yourself and you're not willing to change for this person, and it's not even necessarily changing yourself, it's actually changing your habits and your behavior, the way you react to things. It's not like, oh yeah, I do want to be with this person and so I have to change my whole identity. No, honey, your identity and your personality is actually why that person chose you to be the one. But the thing is that you got to level up together, and if you're not going to be doing good together, you're not going to be doing better here from on out, then there's really no point in being in a relationship. Unless, like, I understand there are some people where they're just like, oh, we like to stay at this level and that's it. But then, like, even though you want to stay at this level and that's it, there should still be days that gets better, not worse from that, if that makes sense. And so that is how you know you got the one. Period.
All right. For me, I can't even tell, so I can't give y'all no advice. Just kidding. But just some pointers I have is that sometimes you don't know they're the one right away because you wouldn't know until, you know, a couple years into the relationship, right? Because you don't know who they truly are. But I think just some things that you could look out for to know if he is the one is that if he respects you and your opinion, and you feel good about yourself when you're with him, right? He doesn't make you feel bad about who you are, or what the things you do, and just as an individual. And you're not afraid to say sorry in the relationship, or they're not afraid to say sorry in the relationship when they know that they did wrong, they own up to it. I think that plays a lot in a relationship, just holding yourself accountable in the relationship and knowing that you're at fault and then you make up for it, right? And then also when you know that they can communicate, but they can also comprehend it, and they can also compromise, okay? Because it's like the big three C's, because they can communicate, but they might not be able to comprehend it. And if they can't comprehend it, what's going to change about it, right? Nothing's going to change because they can't comprehend. So make sure they can communicate and comprehend, and then you compromise together and come together and find a solution together, right? And then I think lastly for me is that when you're in a relationship, this person should just be complementing your life. Like this analogy, they always say he's a cherry on top, because your life is already sweet and you have a foundation that's already set. So he's the sweetness on top, right? The cherry on top of your foundation you already set for yourself. So just make sure that you already have a set stone for you and you're fulfilled. And like as example for that as well, when you're having a bad day, you feel 20, he could be the 80 for you, right? Or vice versa, because you're like, oh, I'm having a bad day, I'm feeling 20 today. It's okay, I could take over, I could be the 80 and make it 100, so we could be whole. But if you both come together as just two halves and two 50s, what are you gonna do when one person's feeling like, 25? The other person can't go up to 75. Is that math good math? Yeah, 75. Because you guys are both just two halves, so how can you support each other? So just really make sure that when you get into a relationship, make sure you guys are both two wholes and coming as an individual to help support each other to grow more. So I feel like for me, that's how I feel like I know that person's the one, just when they've really fully adulted and really fully developed their frontal lobe everywhere, everything, because a man could be 4 years old and he could still be a child, and someone that's younger could be grown, have like different aspects and be grown and know all these things, so it just really depends on the individual. It doesn't matter what age they are, or anything, but yeah, that's for me, that's what I think it is. And I feel like it's so very hard for me to do now. That's why, sis is still single, but sis is single happy, so it's all good. Yeah. And
period.
I think what I feel like I found the one, I think I'll just know. I feel like Lexa is just that feeling inside, it's like, but you may have sometimes we get that feeling. It's like, oh, he's the one, and then we ignore all the red flags. That's a whole different topic to talk about. But
yes, that is.
Yeah, that's what, for me, that's what I think. That's how I think I know he would be the one.
Period. Honestly, I am so excited when Emmie gets a man, and I've been like having a picture of her man in my mind for the longest time. Like, y'all don't even know. And if the next man I see her with, like, don't look like the one in my mind, I'm gonna be like, you're not her man. Like, I just know you are not her man.
What do you look like?
It's a secret. When he comes, I'll let you know.
So I guess you're gonna know before I do.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, bestie, look at your 9 o'clock. Look at your 3 o'clock. Like,
okay.
And
Where?
you'll just know. You'll just know. But yeah, I'm so excited for bestie to get into a relationship when she does. And for now, like, if you are in a relationship, great. If you are single, great. If you are healing yourself, I'm happy for you, proud of you. And wherever you may be on the spectrum of just like being single and being content with that, or wanting to be in a relationship, or if you are in a relationship, I hope that y'all are working on yourselves and doing the best thing that you guys can do for yourselves.
Love that. So in conclusion, if you're going to a relationship thinking like, oh, I make this man better, It is their life. Just remember, it's their life. It's not yours. Their life may need work, but also ask yourself, like, what about your life? Are you that perfect that you also don't need to work on yourself? You know, I feel like sometimes we forget to look at ourselves when we see that person that their life isn't that good, and then we forget, like, oh, our life isn't as good either, but look at theirs, let me help them build theirs, and then you forget about yourself, you know. So just, I feel like when you find another person, just remember that you still have you, and you have yourself to love as well, and hold yourself accountable. Don't go hurting others because you have yet to dissect your wounds. So make sure you dissect all your wounds and heal all those wounds. Don't just layer all those band-aids on top, and then when you're ready, I think you'll know when you're ready. Yeah.
Oh, I love that, Emmy. I love how, like, you know, you said dissecting your wounds, because that's so true. And I just thought about my science class when we dissected pigs.
Oh my God, how dare you think of that, Lord.
I know, but it's just like I haven't heard that word in quite a while, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, science class. But I definitely agree, and it's so important. So important to do that. So nevertheless, Emmy, do you have anything else to add?
No, I don't. I think that sums it up for this episode, y'all.
I hope y'all liked this sweet and short episode that we had. And as a reminder, we are here for you guys every other Wednesday. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Modern Mom Girl.
Modern Mom Girl.
Thank you so much for staying with us till the end. And we shall see you soon, girlies.